Hi everybody, and welcome to the 189th edition of Past Boxing Predictions. Alright, let's go. First off, let's take the worst the worst fight, which is big this weekend. It's Tyson Fury versus Dereck Chisora, of course. Yeah, I mean, most of us, if not all, are really, saying why did this fight had to happen? Why didn't Fury fight someone else? If not Usyk himself, then maybe somebody, like I don't know, somebody in the top 10. I mean, that's really worth fighting. I mean, like Jared Anderson, for instance, or Joe Joyce, even better. Would have been a lot better actually, because both are British. Joe Joyce is still undefeated, coming off a big win over Joseph Parker, who is also a buddy of Tyson Fury. So that fight would actually make sense in more ways than one, a lot more than this one. So yeah, Dereck Chisora being like, how old is he now? 38, and far past his prime, not such good shape. Somehow he got the win over an even older Kubrat Pulev in his last fight, which was just rubbish. A rubbish matchup. So Tyson Fury said he wanted to be the first British fighter or heavyweight to have had two trilogies, which doesn't make any sense because to have a trilogy, there must be at least one of the fights must have been a draw, at least, on the first two, right? If not, 1-1, and then it had to one. I mean, you know what I mean. So this is just bullshit. I mean, so anyway, I don't think this will go the distance. Of course, may last like 8 rounds or something, maybe. I mean, Fury hasn't been. He did stop White in 6 rounds, but that was earlier this year. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he will end it sooner. I hope so. For all of our sakes that who watch that fight, that they don't want to see it last too long. I think so, but nothing before fourth round, sixth round probably. So yeah, I think Fury will anyway win by stoppage in this fight. So that was enough about that one. We have on the same card the fight for the WBA title, which is like not the super one that Usyk holds, but the regular. And this one was also for the WBC, of course, with Fury. So Daniel Dubois, who is now the regular WBA champion, is fighting a former cruiserweight called Kevin Lerena. So Lerena, yeah, he's not a big guy for a heavyweight at all, but judging from the photo I have seen of him recent one, he is really bulked up, really. So he should be able to fight someone like Daniel Dubois is a very big and strong guy, and yeah, even for a heavyweight, 6'5" and weighs about 240 pounds usually, and yeah, even has weight over that also 244, 45. But the advantage that Lerena has, of course, is that he's smaller and therefore faster, nimbler, has better movement. That's the big thing that Dubois lacks is that speed and movement thing. Also, his defense is a little bit not the best one anyway. So in that fight, it will be an interesting fight. So Dubois will have to either score a knockout or score a couple of knockdowns to win that fight because I see it being a really challenging fight for him because he's fighting a guy that's former cruiserweight and a good one as well. One of the best. He was one of the best that were never held the title. Yeah. So I'm trying to envision how this fight might play out. Of course, Lorena is he has never been stopped yet, but he may get stopped now because Dubois really can hit. He does have power, as I said, and but it will not be as easy for Dubois as it was with the a regular type heavyweights to really nail Lerena with a big punch or several big ones. It will be a pretty physical fight. I mean, Lerena will probably look to outbox, to win by moving and boxing and stuff like that. Since he still is a lot shorter, smaller than Dubois, despite the muscle gain. Yeah. This fight is in Tottenham Stadium, right? So also an advantage there for Dubois. Arena is 30 years old, actually. All right, I didn't know that. 28 and one loss that he had like a long ago, 2014 points, but he avenged them and he stopped this guy Johnny Muller. So he has had a few knockouts in his last fight. He started to win. He did knock out Bogdan Dinu, and then he won by a shutout, mostly against Marius Wach in his last fight. But Wach is, of course, past his best. He's a shot fighter, pretty much. So, yeah, Dubois has had also a few wins. He knocked out Trevor Bryan, who held ridiculously had been given this title before. He also knocked down Dino in 2 rounds. So, yeah, I don't know really. I actually think give Arena a realistic chance to win this fight, unless he gets knocked out, of course. And but it will, we saw what happened now this weekend with Franklin getting robbed against White. It's hard to get a decision over there, especially if you're fighting a guy who is a big name in Britain. And but yeah, I don't know. Really, I think this will be a really pretty good fight. And I don't know if Daniel, who is his manager, let's see, your promoter. All right, Shane, we have rank for it, right? So yeah, it's about the same as being promoted by Eddie Hearn. These guys can pull those strings, to get their fighters preferential decision, treatment. I mean, but I hope that's not what's gonna happen. So this is my prediction. If the Watt does not knock out Lerena or score a knockdown, then Lerena will probably outbox him. Yeah, but it will be hard for him because he's fighting a guy so much bigger and stronger probably, and who can punch harder, of course, than he. And yeah, so it will be interesting anyway. So I don't want to go anywhere any deeper into that. It's kind of hard. This Levi is actually in favor to win here because he's fighting, at home, and he's the natural heavyweight of those two guys. So I think Lorena is good enough to really give him a bad, or a good challenge, let's say. All right, yeah. Earlier on I saw that Johnny Gonzalez is still fighting. I think I have one thing to say to him: retire, Johnny. Really, it's time for you to retire now. You've been fighting way too long. All right, and then finally there is the big fight in America with Juan Francisco Estrada El Gallo versus Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. So this is for a vacant WBC Super Flyweight title. All right. Yeah, so this is the third part. This is the trilogy. Third and last part of the trilogy there. You know, this has lasted 10 years. You know, already in 2012, Gonzalez beat Estrada on points. And then I believe it was in 28, 21, yeah, that Estrada avenged that loss. It was a close one, a split decision. So now, since then, Estrada fought Argy Cortez in his last fight, and he didn't really look so impressive, you know. Took a lot of shots, yeah. He managed to score a knockdown, and he won mainly because of that. I also had him winning by only 1 point. So yeah, that kind of doesn't give him the look of a favorite before this fight, even though it doesn't have to necessarily mean that you lose it. But yeah, I think their last fight was pretty, hard, to score. It was very, very close. And Gonzalez, Chocolatito Gonzalez, he is just a force of nature. But he's 35 now, he's getting on in age. And Estrada is 32, so yeah, there's a slight advantage there for Estrada in age anyway. And Estrada is 5'4", while Gonzalez is 5'3", so 1 inch in height as well. But it doesn't really mean much. I think Chocolatito is still a beast. That is the main difference between those two. Estrada is more like, a clever boxer, also a tough guy, a tough cookie, but not really a big puncher, sort of destroyer like Gonzalez. He's really the destroyer here, the beast. So, of course, it didn't help him the last time. And, hasn't been able to stop Estrada, and I don't know if Estrada ever has been stopped. Actually, no, he hasn't. All his three losses came on points. So there you go. I think also this fight will most likely go the distance. But however, it wouldn't really surprise me if Estrada got stopped because this is like the revenge of Chocolatito. That's what it's about. And him kind of cementing his legacy. Now that he's probably close to retirement, and he's had over 50 fights already. So if he loses now, then there will be question marks around his whether he is worthy of being inducted into the International Hall of Fame. Because so far he has said that uh, resume or however said that record worthy of a Hall of Fame. I mean, of course, the only kind of chink there being the only hiccup being those two losses to Sri Saket or Ruby Sai. But before that, he was really, yeah, he was just wrecking everybody and reigning supreme in the small divisions, the small league. And yeah, has won world titles at three different, I believe, weight classes. Yeah, that's right. So, this one is also rather tough, but simply based on Estrada's last performance, make it easier for me. Uh, I think this time Estrada is bound to lose, now because he has been on a winning streak for a while now, and yeah, it's true. He hasn't actually lost since 2018, and he also lost to Sri Saket there, but he later avenged that loss. So He's won his last 7 fights. Yeah, I think simply that also him not fighting for a year and a half or so before the last fight against Cortez, that kind of had something to do with him not really looking impressive, taking too many shots. And Gonzalez, kind of being a little bit more active than him also. Yeah, he has looked good, even though he had failed to make the super flyweight limit in his last fight, interestingly enough. But yeah, he has had a fight before this year and in March, so it went a little less. Even though he hasn't been, of course, as active as usual because of the situation with Corona, but he's still, been there a little more. So, yeah. This fight will, I think, establish where both stand, how far past their best they are. So anyway, it will be a great one. But I think Chocolatito Gonzalez, will win. Actually, I think maybe he can score a late stoppage, even maybe. He is capable of that, certainly. But we'll see how things go. I have him winning on points, really. That's my main prediction. So that was it for this time. Been going on quite long. All right. So have a good one. Bye bye.